Hello everybody, welcome to a very special kind of a MCOC news update. This is a very important one, so make sure that you're hitting the like button, sharing as well. This will really help out because it's important information and I hope that people see it, especially in the MCOC community. Three important things: the Ultron PI change we need to discuss, the Scarlet Witch Sigil into the Sigil now it seems, and the third thing being why Kabam is doing a 1.3 gigabyte version of the game which you can download now. Yeah, the new update is live. There's a lot of info to go over, so let's begin with the first thing, which is the Ultron PI change. Also, it looks like this is affected with War Machine as well, especially after the update. Many people are going like, oh, is this a glitch? Because in this case, my Ultron 5-star rank 4 went from 8,700 to 6,700, and with War Machine went 500 down to 4,500. From what I gather with some of the spotlights, that shouldn't be the case, especially with the split. And yeah, even like this player here is pointing out this kind of like shift in the PI of the champion going down quite rapidly. So what is going down with this? Well, there's not a huge amount going on because this has to be investigated. Yeah, Command Mike has kind of alerted that this is an issue, so it needs to be investigated. So it does mean that Kabam are on the case for it, rather than going, okay, well, they've left us high and dry, and we're all there going, oh, diddly squit, we're getting absolutely shafted again. And for those who don't know, this is referred to as the Ultron Prime. There isn't another version of Ultron, but that's more of a kind of the classic Ultron, whether or not Kabam will name it classic Ultron. I have this as named as Ultron Prime. Those are going to be some key things as well, but the main thing to point out is that the PI changes. There's no update of like when this is actually going to be sorted out and looked into, but definitely you can see some roundabout issues of this champion, especially from what you see on the screen right here. Maybe that's not what's going to be applicable in game. As soon as I know more info about this, I'll let you know, but it'll probably be on the Wednesday edition of Marvel Contest of Champions News. Do bear in mind, this is important. This kind of like I do this kind of little breaking news type thing because there's three key things players are talking about at the moment. Let's move on to the next thing we got to cover, and that indeed is the 1.3 or 1.15 or whatever it is. What is respectively big chunky update for Marvel Contest of Champions. This, even though it seems like this is really bad, is actually an incredibly good idea. You're gonna have to bear with me because I know that there may be some people going like, I want to download a long ass update. What's the point in that? That's stupid. But it's actually a really good idea, especially if we're going to roll this on a monthly basis. Kind of imagine that you are taking not a detox, but you're kind of like resetting, refreshing with the narrative of downloading a larger chunk of the update. If Kabam have something of a smaller build of it, then what you're doing is you're kind of downloading the larger chunk each month as a fresh download. What you're essentially doing is kind of allowing the game to get the best version of itself to be out there in the kind of like Google Play and the iOS store, or the App Store. Again, I need to further explain that because I didn't really kind of explain that too well. I think the best thing can be said, like Kabam Mike actually kind of responded to this and said that, hey everybody, this is correct. You'll notice that unlike previous releases, once you have downloaded the new update, there is no additional data downloaded afterwards. This is a test for us, but if this resolves some issues that have occurred in the past, you can expect this norm going forward. And I think that's the key thing here, but it says like, once you have downloaded the new update, there is no additional data downloaded afterwards. The main thing is when you download the updates, it comes to that thing like resetting cartridges or doing something else in that. And I think the way that Kabam want to send this build to you is not something of going like, hey, well here's a small chunk, and then there's like a little bit of chunks in order to kind of like two-part download. Essentially what this is you downloading it as a full download. So when it comes to a point of reaching your device, then it's a case that it's still kind of connecting with the servers to kind of then download the further parts of it. It can mean that stuff then scuffs up in that process. And so what this is trying to do is remove the likelihood that you'll receive more scuff. Not to say that, you know, the game is without scuff. It's a pretty scuffy game. But at least if it's something to test out and go, hey, well, things are a bit more smoother, then that may be good for you to get a better experience of the game on a monthly basis. And I know that people have plenty of kickbacks when it comes to this, and I understand it's not easy to download the game over like data. In some countries, like data is a lot more costly than others. But as well, this is the problem that Marvel Contest of Champions is a better experience over Wi-Fi than it is over data, to a degree. But yeah, like this is going to be something that some players are going to like and some players are going to dislike. However, though, it is one of these situations that you may get a better form of the game by doing it by this method with less scuff appearing than it would do with the old method of downloading a small chunk, then you are actually using data still because you're downloading in the background the remainder parts of the game which are still kind of like transmitting over from the download itself. So a bit of a weird situation. I know that some people won't like this, but it would be a really good test to see whether or not this sorts out the problem or makes it worse, or at least kind of like doesn't improve anything, which could be a likely thing. So we'll have to see what happens next month when they try this again. Okay, final thing to talk about is Scarlet Witch Sigil. So Scarlet Witch Sigil is going to be something that is a little bit problematic. It's problematic because it is behind a paywall. Yes, champions have been in the past behind a paywall to a degree. You could argue that no, if you count things that getting them from dual class crystals, or using 5-star shards, 6-star shards, and as well waiting for them to get into the featured and other methods like that. But there have definitely been paywall champions in the past. The OG Scarlet Witch, before it was in the crystals, was indeed behind a paywall. The same thing with Platinum Pool to a degree. You can get it in a free-to-play narrative, but there are paid deals. And the same thing with Red Deadpool? Yeah, Red Pool, whatever you want to call it. I was thinking that was the best way to describe it. But yes, it has been in the past. Regardless. So, yes, if you buy the Summoner Sigil, you will have an opportunity to get a Sigil credit, which will then give you, depending on your progression, the ability to pick up a Scarlet Witch. So that's going to be the thing here. Sigil credits will be added to Summoner Sigil weekly solo event milestones, rewards, and can spent on exclusive items in the Black Ocean market. Sigil credit quantifies quantities based on story mode progression start, story milestone completion. So, as well, depending on where you are, those who have become uncollected by completing Act 5.2 or higher can trade in Sigil credits to obtain a 6-star Scarlet Witch from the Black Ocean Market store. This will be the only way to obtain Scarlet Witch for at least 6 months. After that, you can look forward to some rare opportunity to obtain her, which will be announced at a later date. So there seems to be something there. I've heard a rumor about the way that you may be able to get her from a free-to-play standpoint, but because I don't know 100% that it would fall into this line, it's no point me talking about what I hear is a rumor as to where this will be after the 6 months. So I'm going to leave it there. However, though, I will just say this is not exactly the most ideal situation, especially from picking up the champion, and as well if she turns out to be like a really good champion, really sustainable, fun and whatever champion, then the means in which to get her feel a little bit like it's sort of cheating the free-to-play market. The biggest issue from buying the Summoner Sigil as well, just to kind of like flip from side to side here, something that I buy the Summoner Sigil on a monthly basis. I think it's the cheapest way possible to support the developer and at the same time be able to get some alright stuff. It's not overly amazing, and that's the thing. I have been debating whether or not to renew my Summoner Sigil on a monthly basis because there's nothing of inherent value that is in there. Because that's the thing, like people are saying I would not spend on it, but then you have to kind of take the other side and go, what if you wanted to spend on it? Are you getting some value for money? And in that case, the answer would be possibly not. Especially because most of the stuff in there is just extra RNG items. There's nothing extra that makes you go, oh, this could be a good investment, or this could be a good purchase because I'm getting some good stuff. Yeah, the reduction in 4,000 of 5-star and 6 stars respectively for a featured is good, but the last 6-star featured was rubbish. It's rubbish. I think it's the one that's on at the moment. It's not a very good 6-star featured. So again, it's down to like, do I want to spend on this? Do I want to wait a little while? Those are key fundamentals that need to be kind of like assessed before you actually want to buy. You don't have to spend in game, but at the same time, there needs to be something for those that spend to have a value for getting it. And as well, how far getting a Scarlet Witch and propelling you further with your roster is also going to come into a bone of contention as well. At the end of the day, I think this is one of these situations of going, if down the line, the same way that they did with Platinum Pool, they allow players to get the champion for free. I mean, if you haven't seen already, you can actually get the crystals from Dark Artifacts for Platinum Pools. It gives you a chance of picking up some of the pieces, which Kabam did say last year that it would return and give those players that want a free-to-play grind perspective that you can get Platinum Pool without having to buy some of the parts, which, you know, was part of the deals and such. So that's something as well. If Kabam are in 6 months' time, say that's going to be November time, or going to early December, if that's the time, 1 year since the champion was introduced, that you'll be able to get it in a free-to-play narrative or have more availability from a free-to-play narrative, then that is something that's going to be good. But what are the means of getting it after 6 months? And do players need to hoard something in particular, like a particular type of crystal shard, like units, like Dark Artifacts, in order to have some chance to acquire? That, I think, would have been going a little bit above and beyond and good from Kabam's perspective to give people that kind of like, I don't know, preparation, so to speak. Which is, yeah, that's kind of the downside. So yeah, a little bit annoying that it's this way, but I do see it from a perspective of going like, look, you know, if you buy something, you want to have a unique value to it. And that's the thing. This will give some people that buy the Summon Sigil on a monthly basis that opportunity to have something a little bit extra that maybe is to encourage players to buy, which, look, you know, is it a good thing or a bad thing? Kabam didn't post very well with their financial performance, so this may be an idea in order to kind of like get that money up to kind of a better standpoint and be more successful. So we'll have to see like what kind of business strategy this has been, but at the same time, let's just get back to the game and the fact that it's behind a paywall. 6 months is when you're going to have to wait in order to get an opportunity. It's a bit of a sad time at the moment for that. But yeah, just got to wait and hope. See what happens in 6 months' time. And also see if Scarlet Witch is more of a groundbreaking champion to then add that extra kind of like frustration to the free-to-play market. So, a bit of sad times for that, but unfortunately, keep calm and carry on with this bullshit. And there we go, that's been a deep dive into the 3 very important things players have been talking about in the last couple of hours. And I've put links into the stuff that's been discussed in the description down below. We'll have an update on some of the stuff on Wednesday's Marvel Contest of Champions new show. I've got to post some stuff when it comes to the new buffs, but I don't know when that will be. Fingers crossed I'll get that out in the next few hours. Have a good one, whatever you're doing. Have a good one. Yes, bye-bye.